This is a painting that was named The Last Supper by another gay painter who is dead and awaiting his second death, forever separated from God. I'm going to now read to you God's version of The Last Supper. Revelation 19:17 to 21. And I saw an angel standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying to all the fowls that fly in the midst of heaven, Come and gather yourselves together unto the supper of the great God, that ye may eat the flesh of kings, and the flesh of captains, and the flesh of mighty men, and the flesh of horses, and of them that sit on them, and the flesh of all men, both free and bond, both small and great. And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worshipped his image. These both were cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone. And the remnant were slain with the sword of him that sat upon the horse, which sword proceeded out of his mouth, and all the fowls were filled with their flesh. So, I've revealed to the world who the beast that was is. If you look at my other videos, who broke God's covenant, just like Moses said these people would do, and set up an altar to Molech for the purpose of child sacrifice. Just read Revelation 13:18 and 1 Kings 10:14. I suggest Old King James instead of the NIV, Satanic Rupert Murdoch Publishing Company version. Now, the so-called Muslims are upset with the counterfeit Israel that was set up in 1948. And they want to kill supporters of that Israel. And why wouldn't they? Maybe if they pulled their heads out of Muhammad's ass, they could see how the synagogue of Satan owns them by law. You see, there was this nasty rumor that started about Muhammad ascending from a rock into heaven without dying. And the slaves of Satan's law believed it. And that's why Muslims tend to rape children, like Muhammad was known to have done to a 9-year-old girl. Do you think that little girl he molested enjoyed being raped by a child molester? Yes, indeed, a nation of child molesters who torture and rape adult women as well want to go to heaven with Muhammad so they can what? Rape and torture women there too? Obviously, these ignorant Muslim men are cowards who work for the counterfeit Israel that was set up in the 1940s. Now that which God gave up, according to Acts chapter 7, sports the six-pointed star of Remphan, which unlearned heathen so-called Christians think is the Star of David. I sit in amazement of how ignorant and how damned these unlearned Muslims and Christians really are. You see, the synagogue of Satan, which is into population control, thinks it's great to start a war between ignorant bastards, which they own, by law. You know, Jacob had a dream about a rock, which is the same rock, I say, as Muslims think their child molester apostle ascended to heaven from. Jacob dreamed of a ladder that the angels were using. And which angels would that be? The ones from the second or third heaven? And And we know that Jacob, who was ungodly according to the New Testament, was named Israel by a man who gave him power as a prince with God and men, or said he did. And this is the first time Israel is mentioned in Scripture, or in the Bible, I should say, the way the Bible is set up. Where, oh, where have I heard of a prince of power before? Oh, I know. That's a ladder that the fallen angels used to climb down and have sex with the daughters of men. And it was the prince of the power of the air. That's where I heard it. Jacob was just helping Satan's angels to screw women, which they hate. And that's why cowardly Muslim men hate and rape women. Because they're possessed by devils. Well, I'm glad I died to live in paradise with Christ, whereas they live to die, the second death. Too bad for selfish, reprobate perverts of law. Galatians 5:4. Christ is become of no effect unto you, whosoever of you are justified by the law. Ye are fallen from grace. Just like hell's angels, who are forever tormented and separate from God.